Hello there and welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I am back with project number 2 in our Blessings of Home Coco and Crafts class. And this is the card that we are going to make today. Isn't it pretty? We're pulling in that petal pink color. Again, another one of those colors I don't use very often. And this isn't exactly a color scheme you typically use with flowers, but I really just love the way this came out. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I have already mounted my stamps, so they're ready to go. Let's see what we have in here. We do have some pieces and parts. So I'm going to pull my little tray over. I still have my gems from the last project. There is a piece of vellum. There is, you don't have this part, I have that part. Some little flower or leaves, clusters. Come on, come on. Why are you stuck in there? There we go, there we go. There's 3 for each card, and then there's also some little, oh, I can't think of what you call them. Little dots, little gray dots. Best word I can think of for now. So, we are going to get started. We want this piece to begin with. And we're going to pull out the petal pink and scrap paper. Just going to fold that over. There we go. We are going to use the big one again, the big image, and this time we're going to use it again as a background stamp. It just makes such pretty background paper, pretty designer paper. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I'll go this way first. Actually, I'll probably do that for all of them because I'm getting bigger images than last time. Let's see. I'm going to turn it this way. Stamp that on there. Oh, and you know what? If I remember correctly what I did last time, because this is a much darker image, look at the difference. And I wanted it to be softer, so I actually did a stamp off on it the last time. So I am going to stamp on here first. 2 sides to every piece of paper, right? And then I will stamp my image. There we go. It gives us a much softer look, which is what I was going for with this particular card. Let's go upside down. And then stamp again. Let's see, we could go all the way across. There we go. And you know what, I might just go ahead and tuck a little bit right there in that corner. Nice, 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 like it. Alright, put that one away. And I will need this out, but I'm going to move it aside. There we go, out of the way. Next thing I want to stamp is, oh, and I should have done it first. Just like last time, I messed up. We want to stamp our flower image in the Memento ink and give it a few minutes to dry. So let's go ahead and get that going. Now I have die cut out for you the image. If you have the coordinating dies and you would rather stamp first and cut it out yourself, go right ahead. If you do not, this is the way to do it for this particular kit. Go ahead and ink up your image. Make sure it's got some color everywhere. Then you're going to take your cutout, your die cut, and try and line this up. As soon as I get it on there, I like to hold it still before I drop it down. Time to feed my doggies dinner. Okay, then I need a second block, and my other block is actually still being used. That's okay, I'll just use it. Let's pull this off of here. There we go. And you want to push down. I think I messed it up. No, I didn't! Woohoo! Yay! Again, it is so much easier to stamp it first and then die cut it out. But we're going to do it this way so that you don't have to have the dies if you're buying my kit. But for those of you who have the die, do it the other way around. Okay. Now, let's see, what is the next thing we need to do? Okay, now we're going to do the sentiment, and as you can see on here, it says thank you, but on the original, it says thank you for inspiring me. And I don't want the for inspiring me part on this particular card, so I'm going to show you a way to do it. Now, one, you can try and simply use the edge of your ink pad and try and do that and get it on, just get it on the words thank you. However, what I prefer to do is to get myself a piece of tape and basically just mask off the words that I don't want. Make sure those words are completely covered, but don't cover the words you want. Ink up your stamp, and then this is a key here. You want to make sure you then remove that piece of tape, get it out of your way. And then on the piece of paper, I'm actually, on this particular one, I found it's easier if I do it upside down. I want to do it towards the left side if I'm doing it upside down, because we want to be able to then do a trim on the other end. So I'm going to put it on here and stamp down. Ta-da! There we go. That will work. And put that over. And is there any other stamping? Yes. Back to our small flower, which I've already cleaned off. We want to get out the smoky slate, and we're going to stamp a panel to go on the inside of the, I gotta find my piece. Okay, I found it. It was underneath this pile over here. So let's go ahead and, oh, let me finish trimming that, and then we'll do our stamping. So to trim off the little banner piece on the end, you can use, we do have a banner punch that you could use for that, but I am simply going to cut a straight cut. Then in the middle of that, go in just a bit, and then go from corner to where I just cut. And that helps me make a relatively straight banner cut. Okay, that's ready. Put that in my trash cup. Now we want to do this inside panel, and we are going to cut off the edge, or stamp off the edge. Is this a smoky slate? Yes, it is. I want to ink up mostly just this top part, because I'm just going to stamp in the bottom left corner a little flower cluster, and I'm going to do the same thing on the envelope. And there we go. So I think now all of our stamping is done. Now I'm going to show you again just a little bit of watercoloring. I have already pre-colored one, so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing, but I am going to do a little bit so you can see. So for this one here, the outer petals were pretty much exactly the same as I did on last week's, but I will go ahead and pull out my petal pink ink. Oh, that's right, I left it out. And get a little bit on this side and do the same thing. Get two bits of color, find my watercolor brush. I've just lost everything. I've done 2 projects today and everything has disappeared on my desk. Oh, okay. Drop a little water on one side. I think it's almost time for me to refill my water brush too. There we go. So you got a very watered down bit. Get my scrap paper back in here. You don't want it too watery because you don't want to mess up your paper. This is not watercolor paper, and it's not our shimmery white. So it doesn't take a whole lot of color very well. So again, I'm just going to take and brush on the petals a very light coat of the light color, then pick up some of the deeper color and tap it to the middle of the petal. And just kind of let that bleed out where it shows there should be shadows. And that's it for that. On the smaller ones, I kind of just colored them in with some of the lighter color. Well, I guess I should have zoomed in so you could see this better. And then just touched right around the middle, almost did a ring in the middle with the darker color. And then let that dry. And then for the center of this one, I left the centers in last week's white, but in the center of this one, I used a little bit of the soft suede. And I don't need very much color for this side at all. Let's get some more water on there. You want it very, very watered down. And then I colored in that middle. And then I came in with the dark. I did a little bit in the very center of the dark, and then I did a little bit right around the edge of the bottom. Like that. And there you go, that's the watercoloring. That was the extent of the watercoloring. I don't know if you can see that very well. I hope so. I'll hold this one up so you can see. And there we go. So I'm going to move these aside, close up my ink pad, and start assembling. So here we need the base, which is, this one's done longwise. Okay, then in your kit you have a strip of paper. You probably have 2 strips of paper actually, and you're going to go ahead and cut in half. And I wasn't super particular on it, and I believe this is square. Yes. So it doesn't matter. It's up to you which way you want yours to go. I'm going to leave this one side didn't come out quite as deep as the other side, so that's going to be covered by the flowers. So what I'm going to do right now is, that's my top, that's my bottom. Flip that over so I remember. I'm going to put some adhesive right along the top. Come on, there we go. And right along the bottom. I probably should have just done one side at a time. Then I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm using my grid paper just as a guide, but if you want you can just eyeball this. And then I'm going to put my card down. Actually, I can do it right in the middle. And basically it depends on how much of a border you want. I actually used about 1/4 inch border on mine. And set that down. Then do the same thing over here at the bottom. And I just cut these, actually these gray strips that you have in your kit, they were offcuts from other projects, which is why I didn't bother cutting them down to size. Because what we're going to do now is just run some adhesive all the way down, all the way down, a little bit in the middle, center this top to bottom, so you have about the same border top and bottom. Make sure your petal pink is lined up on your edges there. And then I'm just going to use my paper snips and cut off the excess. Ooh, my petal pink is even hanging off the edge a little there, so I'll cut that off too. There we go. There are those pieces. Okay, now comes all the fun embellishments. So I know that I want this piece up on dimensional, so I'm going to go ahead and get the dimensionals on here, if I can find what I did with them. And I'm going to use mini dimensionals because I have a lot of little areas here that I want to make sure. But if you want to cut your dimensionals, you know, in half, I'm going to use some minis, and then I'm going to use the whole edge on here as well. You see I kind of cut that edge up a little bit. Whoops! There you go. That piece went flying into my lap. There it is. Take off the backing for that one. Oh, come on. Gonna need my trash cup. And one more over here. There we go. So I have that. I know that's gonna go there, but before I put that down, I'm going to put down my piece of vellum. And for that piece, you don't want your adhesive showing, so you want to make sure your adhesive is just behind where this flower is. So I'm just kind of eyeball that it needs to be basically right here. So flip that over, get some adhesive in that area underneath where the flower is going to be. So I'm going to hold my flower on here to make sure I'm getting this basically where I want it. And now I can press that down. Okay, then these little guys I'm going to glue on with liquid glue, but I kind of want to see exactly where they're going to go first. And lay these down. This one's going to go over here. So this will give me a general idea of where to put the glue. Because once I take and put the dimensionals on top, I won't be able to adjust these. So I want to make sure they're where I want them. Easy peasy. Now all I have to do is kind of move that a little bit. Get some glue on there. Put glue there. Glue there. And that's pretty simple. Go ahead and take all my backings off. There we go. My dogs are very upset with me because the alarm went off and I haven't gotten up to go feed them their dinner yet. They're going to have to be patient. Wait a few more minutes. There we go. And I have a spider crawling across my desk. Got it. Good thing it was a little guy. Okay, now where is my strip that says thank you? There it is. There it is. Now this is going to be partially on the flower, so this part does not need a dimensional, but I am going to put one at this end. So I'll just grab this one piece here. And then for this side, I will just use a little bit of my seal. Okay, put that on there, figure out where I want it. That looks good. And then the last thing to do is a few of our little dots, our little gray dots. And on the blog I will have links to all of these products because I can't think of the names of them at the top of my head. But I will have a link to them. This one here actually comes with, I believe, white and a cream and like an ivory color, and then the gray and black. So it has a lot of different neutral color options in the package of these. So there you have our second project finished. Let me grab out the envelopes from over here. And there you go. Oh, no, it's not finished. I didn't put the inside in. I thought that was another envelope. Let's get some adhesive on here. Stamp that flower down. There we go. Now we have a finished project. There's the other envelope. Okay. Project number 2 done for this month's Coco and Crafts. And next week we do not have a card to work on. We are going to make a notepad. We're going to cover it up. So until then, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.